Anyone else going to join me on camera?
Oh yeah, are we all three of us going to get in?
Yeah. 1 minute. If you two go on the left, because that's usually for the most. Yeah, because it will only take up like that view of the screen. So.
Did I stand in front of Thor? Everyone can see me.
Oh, you go in the middle, Nate.
Okay,
You're the presenter.
Yeah, the delay is one. That's probably. Oh wait, okay. I probably should have downloaded the thing to my phone fast as well. Hopefully it's actually going to sync.
Are people getting to live watch us download the mock draft?
Yes,
they.
Yeah.
Lucky them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which one is it?
So we're either
I'm actually assuming I can view the draft I've just done. That's a great assumption I've made.
if not lucky them, we have to start again.
I could probably just save that. Oh, that was 2017. Fine. Stupid app.
Oh, spoiler alerts on the Tuxrods roster.
Okay, I should have written that.
Oh. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised.
Yeah, I couldn't get the view obviously without showing all one team. So.
That's alright.
Alright, let's check real streaming again.
Nice mugshot. It's the Nicole there, the prison style photo.
Oh, that's very much from the start. Okay, cool. Okay. Right. We always do a backup. Would you mind doing a voice memo record on that? Just in case.
What do you mean?
Just like, have you got a record app?
Yes.
Just as a backup. As we have done that before, an entire podcast.
Oh really? And lost it? Oh blimey.
Yeah, and then we've had to redo it.
Where's on that one?
Some technical delays. No one seems fussed. It's not like there are people going, oh, what happened? It's interrupted.
Where's my voice recorder?
Was it not that? Oh, well, right there.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, we good?
Okay, we've got the backup.
Hello, we're finally live, and hopefully all of us are on screen. If not, I can cover up your team there, Phil.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we are now live, and today it's a good show because we have the Mock Draft podcast. Could you please shut the door, Phil? Yeah, so it was just me, Coach Barnes, and Coach Tom, which I should introduce. Hello, coaches, and EDOTLOCCA. How's it going?
Hello world. How's it going?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Yeah, first podcast of the season for you. First of the season for you.
Accurate.
We've already had many guests on. Ollie, Chris, basically had half the league do a podcast already this season. Isn't it great? That's what the podcast is about. Bringing everyone together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we've done a mock draft, which took us far longer than it should have. About 2 hours.
As always.
As always. Even though we did it offline, but anyway, it's here now, and we will go through it in a second. But first, big news. Big news. There isn't any.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Apart from the draft is a week today.
A week today.
We will probably finish
And
the
Nigel's
draft.
coming.
Nigel is coming.
That's the league news.
That is the league news. Nigel will be coming. And the other part of that is subs, £3 this year.
Did I pay you last year? I feel like I didn't pay you last year
Can't remember. But if you don't pay me, you don't start drafting. So, just saying. You can give me in coins or transfer me the money before then or on the day, whatever. I will send out my payment details actually after this. So, no excuses. And yeah, so arrive 10 a.m. Don't park in that car park because it's now controlled. So you can park on the street outside. But otherwise, it's 2 hours max parking there. So that's it. League news. Screw the rest of that. We're going to go straight to the.
That's a power draft. Guys, I parked in the car park. I need to be done in 2 hours.
That's for sure. Right, so we each had 4 teams each. So I had the Tuckfarts, Southampton Knowles, Forge Flyers, and Ben Assisties. Phil had Pakistan Dream Team, Tom Sarrance and Gridiron Gang, and Tom had Bedetnet's ADLZ, Ixan, and Cash for Gold. We did all 15 rounds, which I don't think we've
I think that's
ever
new.
done.
No, we normally get bored.
Yeah,
we were bored.
We were pretty bored, but we still
yeah.
we carried it out, and hopefully it's going to be reasonably accurate. Okay, so we'll go through it round by round and look at each team, picking out some major things in each round. So here we go. Round 1, Todd Gurley to the Tuckfarts, Le'Veon Bell to Southampton Knowles, Ezekiel Elliott to Forge Flyers, Antonio Brown to Ben Assisties, Alvin Kamara to Pakistan, David Johnson to the Dream Team, Saquon Barkley to Tom's Tyrants, Leonard Fournette to Gridiron Gang, Melvin Gordon to Bedetnators, Kareem Hunt to ADLZ, DeAndre Hopkins to Ixan, and Odell Beckham Jr. to Cash for Gold. What stands out for you in the first round there?
For me, the standout pick's the Alvin Kamara. Slightly earlier than perhaps you'd expect. That's for me. David Johnson dropping a little bit. I think the Dream Team and Coach Nifani would be chuffed.
Yeah.
That'd be popping corks early in the draft.
So you were the one that made the Kamara pick. What was your thinking behind Kamara 5?
Well, so he's obviously got Mark Ingram out the way for the first couple of games of the season.
Yep.
So he's gonna be big. He's a big playmaker.
He
Second year, I really think he could kick on and make a big impact.
Okay.
So that was the reason.
Oh. The only other maybe mild surprise in that round is maybe Antonio Brown going ahead of David Johnson.
Similar thing,
and
Johnson
Kamara.
dropping a bit.
Yeah. But I think, those top 5 picks really, they are quite interchangeable in their nature. So nothing too outrageous there. Second round, Dalvin Cook to Cash for Gold, Michael Thomas to Ixan, AJ Green to ADLZ, Julio Jones to the Bedetnators, Devontae Adams to Gridiron Gang, Devonta Freeman to Tom's Tyrants, Keenan Allen to the Dream Team, Christian McCaffrey to Pakistan, Jordan Howard to Ben Assisties, Derek Henry to Forge Flyers, Rob Gronkowski to Southampton Knowles, and Mike Evans to the Tuckfarts. Round 2.
I can't believe you've given me Mike Evans in the second round there after
You're
the
playing
disaster
Phil.
of last
You're
season.
like, I can't believe you're giving me that. Oh, why, yeah. You're going to draft him.
Oh, we'll see. We shall see.
I mean, you still had a good year. I don't really know what you.
No, it was a fairly average
touchdown a bit.
season. For a first rounder last season, it was...
Maybe.
Yeah,
true. I think he's in for a good year.
Yeah, we obviously have AJ Green going at pick 15, which is perhaps a bit high, but he is a second rounder in his ADLZ.
He's a flagship for ADLZ.
Yeah. Any other
I think
surprising things?
I think you could say some running backs fell. I think Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Howard, quite low down in the draft for where you might expect to see them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Julio is quite low as well.
And Julio,
Yeah.
Julio at 16, I don't think many people saw that coming. I'm not used to seeing him that way either.
Yeah, sure. Gronkowski at 23, Southampton Knowles. What do you think?
Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah.
For placement, and well, they may not, even if they, well, who knows? They may get Brady, but
yeah,
that's
that's the Brady range of the last 2 years for Southampton Knowles.
I was going to say it's classic Ross, Ross pick.
But as we see in round 3, we have T.Y. Hilton going to the Tuckfarts, Aaron Rodgers going to Southampton Knowles, Sean McCoy going to Forge Flyers, Travis Kelce to Ben Assisties, Stephon Diggs to Pakistan, Joe Mixon to the Dream Team, Doug Baldwin to Tom's Tyrants, Jarek McKinnon to Gridiron Gang, Tyreek Hill to Bedetnators, Alex Collins to ADLZ, Lamar Miller to Ixan, and Jay Ajayi to Cash for Gold. What jumps out in round 3?
early doors, I think Joe Mixon's a bargain there.
Yeah,
I think that's
he
he's potential to go in the end of the second for me.
Yeah.
So getting him there. Dream Team again. I'm just completely loving the Dream Team.
You drafted well.
Well, there we go.
And yeah,
the
power 3 for the Southampton Knowles of Rodgers, Gronkowski, and Le'Veon Bell is not to be messed with.
I like Stephon Diggs there for Pakistan as well.
Okay, 29. All right, okay. Round 4, we have Murray Cooper to Cash for Gold, Marshawn Lynch to Ixan, Juju Smith-Schuster to ADLZ, Kenyon Drake to Bedetnators, Adam Thielen to Gridiron Gang, Zach Ertz to Tom Tyrants, Brandon Cooks to the Dream Team, Deshaun Watson to Pakistan, Russ Freeman to Ben Assisties, Larry Fitzgerald to Forge Flyers, Demarius Thomas to Southampton Knowles, and Mark Ingram to the Tuckfarts. Now, there's a few eyebrow-raising things there. I'm just going to lead off with Lynch at pick 38. Is that high?
Yeah, I made that pick, and the reason I went there is you'll see later on the team sheets, or if you've been paying attention, I have 0 RB'd
Okay.
Ixan early doors and gone
Okay.
wide receiver heavy,
Mhm.
and for me Lynch was the higher floor
Sure.
of the other options there. So
Okay.
it's a reach, but I don't think it's a bad reach.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster maybe a touch high as well, but that I think is about his ADP. But Deshaun Watson though, that's an interesting one. Pick 44, Deshaun Watson. Obviously, only had a few games before going down last year. Talk me through that one, Phil.
So obviously, it was a big time explosive player last season. Had obviously quite a high scoring couple of matches, and Pat is a consistent player, but to take himself up in the levels of the LOC, he needs that explosive player who's going to provide those 30-week points.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that
Heard it here
Deshaun
first.
Watson could be that guy. You're welcome, Pat.
And then the final, I guess, major one that jumps out. Royce Freeman, rookie running back. He has risen a lot lately. He's had a good preseason.
He's had a good preseason. It's still early for my taste,
Yeah.
but he has had a good preseason. Although I think seeing picks like that can help back up the Lynch
Yeah.
pick from earlier.
And finally, Mark Ingram, 48. It seems a bit early, especially for a player that's going to miss the first 4 games of the season. But
If he plays how he played last year, it's
Yeah.
a good value pick because he's a guy who's going to take you for 3/4 of the season and into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Sapphires like their former players as well.
they do
So
loyalty.
Yeah.
loyalty there.
And they like having someone in their reserve spot.
They do.
So it's worked
Yeah,
out
exactly.
in all ways.
That's really true. I should have said, if you want to message as we're going along into the Facebook chat, we can see that. So go ahead and do that if you want to communicate with us, our international viewers. Round 5, we have Jimmy Graham to the Top Farms, Jarvis Landry to Southampton Normals, Tom Brady to Ford Flyers, Russell Wilson to Bare Necessities, Alan Robinson to Pakistan, Ocean Jeffrey to the Dream Team, Marvin Jones to Tom's Tyrants, Rashard Penny to Gridiron Gang, Chris Hogan to the Detonators, Greg Olson to ADRZ, Carry-On Johnson to XN, and Rex Burkhead to Cash for Gold. What do we make of round 5?
The quarterbacks started to come out, and I think in not bad values. And similar with tight ends, we're in that kind of round. People have got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. They want to take their big time playmakers, and Brady, Wilson. That's what you're getting in there. So not bad value picks there. Jeffrey obviously quite up in the air. We're not exactly sure how injured he
might
is.
start
I
on PUP.
don't think anyone's sure, but could be a big time player down the stretch.
Sure.
Rashard Penny, similar deal.
Yeah,
That's maybe a bit early for him, but
and Carry-On Johnson as well, pick 59.
yeah, no, fair point. I made that one.
Even Rex Burkhead sneaking into the 5th round as well.
5th
That's
round.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anything else for you there, Phil? Jimmy Graham, maybe?
Jimmy Graham.
I made that
I can't say that I'm a fan of this pick. I don't.
He's playing it
see,
down again.
I don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Giving away all his secrets.
I don't see myself drafting Jimmy Graham. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
What if he's there in the 10th?
I don't see myself picking Jimmy Graham in the 4th round. 5th round.
Round
If it is, line him up.
Yeah.
Round 6 then. Corey Davis to Cash for Gold. Will Fuller to Ixan. I believe he was on his team last year. Drew Brees to ADRZ. Dion Lewis to the Detonators. Marquise Goodwin to Gridiron Gang. Golden Tate to Thomas Tyrants. Marlon Mack to the Dream Team. Evan Ingram to Pakistan. Also on Pakistan's team last year, I believe. Josh Gordon to Bare Necessities. Carl Rudolph to Ford Flyers. Tevin Coleman to Southampton Knowles. And Carson Wentz to the Tug Files. What do we make? Round 6.
Well, early doors, I've only just noticed this. This is right hot off the press, but Phil has granted me 2 Lions receivers in Marvin Jones and Golden Tate in back-to-back rounds. So that's gone
Phil
excellently.
loves double dipping.
I may have
Loves the
missed
double
that,
dipping.
and
Too fair.
perhaps I should
There's
have pressed
worse double
retry.
dips.
There was
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
there, T.Y. Hilton and Andre Johnson springs to
Oh
mind.
yeah, that'll go. It doesn't get worse than that.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yes, had I realised that, then I probably would have redone that pick.
But let's just flip Golden Tate to me and Marquise Goodwin.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else there? I think it's a pretty. I mean, Josh Gordon coming
Obviously,
off,
Josh
but-
Gordon. There's a lot of high upside picks in there. There's a lot of people that could be scoring a lot of points or could be doing not a lot. Yeah, Josh Gordon's the ultimate example of that, of course. But potentially not a bad value there. Maybe a tad early.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, round 7 then. Jamal Williams to the Tugfards, Sammy Watkins to Southampton Knowles, Michael Crabtree to Forge Flyers, Jordy Nelson to Ben Necessities, Carlos Hyde to Pakistan, Cam Newton to the Dream Team, Isaiah Crowell to Tom's Tyrants, Delaney Walker to Gridiron Gang, Chris Carson to the Detonators, Emmanuel Sanders to ADRZ, Kirk Cousins to XN, Andrew Luck to Cash for Gold. I think that's a pretty solid 7 round.
Good value picks there,
Yeah.
more or less across the board. I'm not sure.
Nothing really jumps out to me.
Andrew Luck?
Yeah.
Question
well,
marks,
no.
maybe?
I think that's where
Hasn't played in, over a season?
it's
a
still
season
Andrew
and a half?
Luck. He's been pretty good in the pre-season.
He's got the
by all
potential there. He's got
accounts,
top 5 potential. So get him in at 7. If you want him, that's where you've got to take him. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Round 8, we have Tariq Cohen going to Cash for Gold. That makes a lot of sense. Trey Burton going to Ixan. Sony Michelle going to ADRZ. First defense, Jacksonville Jaguars off the board to the Detonators. Robbie Anderson to Gridiron Gang. Devin Funchess to Tom's Tyrants. Jordan Reed to the Dream Team. Randall Cobb to Pakistan. Aaron Jones to Bare Necessities. Kelvin Benjamin to Forge Flyers. The LA Rams to Southampton Knowles. And Cooper Cup to the Tugfards. What do we make around 8?
Yeah, I think early doors I'll justify taking the first D off the board, which I believe I'll be asked to do anyway.
I'd be surprised if it lasted till round 8. We usually see
yeah.
round 7, even 6 sometimes.
I think, and
The best defense can
I
be.
think Coach Merritt's got a history, so I think there's in round 8 the Jaguars, they're going to be great. It's not a bad value.
Yeah, I think the Jags are trying to improve this year with their defense, so I concur with that. And yeah, the Rams as well, with their acquisitions over the course of the off-season, they're probably the 2 defenses that deserve to go first.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Round 9, CJ Anderson to the Tugfards, Ronald Jones II to Southampton Knowles, Minnesota Vikings to Forge Flyers, Julian Edelman to Bare Necessities, LeGarrette Blunt to Pakistan, Jamison Crowder to the Dream Team, Matthew Stafford to Tom's Tyrants, Jimmy Garoppolo to Gridiron Gang, all of that, Alan Hearns to the Detonators, Robert Woods to ADRZ, Chris Thompson to XN, and Devontae Parker to Cash for Gold. What do we make of round 9?
I think maybe Matt Stafford is quite a nice pick there. Came in around about came in quite late, so I think that's quite a good value pick right there for the offense
Yeah,
they got.
I think this is the round where you kind of do get the value in quarterback, don't you? Because you're
Yeah,
still
certainly.
getting the top 12 type player.
Absolutely.
I mean, other than that, there's again some high upside players in here. I think you've got Crowder, Hearns, Woods, Parker, all wide receivers that could lead their team in targets. So, yeah.
But equally, they could do nothing all season.
Yeah, that's where
that middle ground,
That's
isn't
why
it?
they're in the 9th. Yeah.
Round 10 then, David and Joker to Cash for Gold, Philadelphia Eagles to Ixan, Houston Texans to ADRZ, George Kittle to the Detonators, Nelson Aguilar to Gridiron Gang, Pierre Garçon to Tom's Tyrants, Corey Clement to the Dream Team, Nick Chubb to Pakistan, Ty Montgomery to Bare Necessities, Mike Williams to Forge Flyers, DJ Moore to Southampton Knowles, and Duke Johnson to the Tugfards. Round 10.
Duke Johnson, Duke, really? Who drafted me? Was this you? Oh.
Well, I've got him down to a T. I've basically just picked all his team.
Oh, I really hope I don't draft.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see some more defenses, starting to see some more. I mean, we're fishing for upside here. People like Aguilar, Garçon, you can see it happening. Mike Williams is this a bit early for him? Maybe, but without Hunter Henry, there's plenty of
Almost like
potential in that
a
offense.
rookie as well, in a way. Rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't Kevin White us.
Nick Chubb for Pakistan. Everyone's thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's Carlos Hyde is a bit of an injury risk, and
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd be taking Nick Chubb before Duke Johnson personally, in terms of their running back pecking order, but it's a bit of a mystery.
yeah, in terms of immediate impact, Duke Johnson definitely going to get more work than Chubb, but I guess Chubb's more the
potential kind of.
Yeah, has the ceiling, higher ceiling.
Round 11 then, Calvin Ridley to the Tugfards, Doug Martin to Southampton Knowles, Kenny Stills to Forge Flyers, Peyton Barber to Bare Necessities, Sterling Shepard to Pakistan, Chargers defense to the Dream Team, Devontae Booker to Tom's Tyrants, Latavius Murray to Gridiron Gang, Philip Rivers to the Detonators, Kenny Golladay to ADLZ, Stephen Guzkowski to Ixan, first kicker there, Cameron Meredith to Cash Gold. Who the hell gave me Latavius Murray?
That was me.
That's my first reaction
That
to
was
round
me
11.
paying you back for
Yeah.
Duke Johnson.
The pick for that, you gave me Devontae Booker, so don't count yourself too unlucky.
Other than those two absolute shockers, what do we make of this round?
Yeah, I think that speaks that wide receiver depth is a lot higher than running back depth at this point in the
Yes.
draft. Although Peyton Barber is only just gone,
Mm.
and he could surprise. So
As far as ADP is, I think it's even a bit higher than his current ADP.
yeah, I
amazingly.
think it's not a bad value at that
yeah.
point
Uh,
compared to
yeah.
Booker and Murray.
Yeah. Pass kicker to Ixan, it's probably the most likely pick of the draft. It's just a question of whether it's round 11 or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, has he waited longer than normal? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how.
Apparently we're frozen.
Oh no.
We'll just go
frozen.
and check the stream. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's probably Chris because we very much still look like we're streaming. So
Oh, excellent.
We'll
in
continue.
that case, this is highly unprofessional. Get back over there.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll continue streaming.
You're acting like we only have one viewer or something.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have two.
Two
Sorry,
viewers.
Ollie. Apologies. Anything else in that round? I think we've probably notched off everything of interest there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
I
was
think
good.
so.
Okay, round 12. Naheem Hines to Cash for Gold. Michael Gallup to Ixan. The signal went on strike. I'm in France after all from Chris. Yeah, that makes sense. Greg Zarline to ADLZ. Josh Doxson to Benetness. Wait, he still sent us that message. How does that work? Baltimore Ravens to Gridiron Gang. Tyler Lockett to Tom's Tyrants. Denver Broncos to the Dream Team. Martavis Bryant to Pakistan. New Orleans Saints to Bare Necessities. Donta Foreman to Forge Flyers. Justin Tucker to Southampton Owls. And Seahawks to the Titans. What do we make of round 12? A few rookies, huh?
Yeah, a couple of rookies early doors, but roughly where you'd expect them to be. The Hines and Gallup both have upside, and I can certainly say that Coach Gardner's got a penchant for rookie running backs. Sorry,
Pass
Absolutely.
catching ones like that.
he likes it. It'd be a shame if he didn't get one.
Yeah. Nothing else really jumps out to me in that round, so we'll just mosey on. Round 13, Matt Ryan to the Tugfarts, Samaje P. Ryan to Southampton Owls, Rob Kelly to Forge Flyers to running back to back there. Patrick Mahomes to Bare Necessities, Patriots D to Pakistan, Matt Brader to the Dream Team, Steelers D to Tom's Tyrants, Tyler Eifert to Gridiron Gang, Marcus Mariota to the Detonators, Jared Goff to ADLZ, Bilal Powell to Ixan, Chicago Bears D to Cash for Gold. What do we make of round 13?
Some interesting picks there. I think Tyler Eifert is quite low down there. Surprised he only went in round 13.
It's
the
I think it's about where he's
injury
going. It's,
history.
No one's really rating him because they just don't think they can count him.
Tyler Croft, well established in
Tyler
that offense now
Croft.
as well. He's gonna. There's gonna be if there's two tight ends.
What's a
that's all.
legend for Gridiron Gang in 2017?
Legend maybe overselling it like, a lot, but I think he's a super high upside pick. I mean, I had in the
Yeah,
year he
that's
caught
very true.
13
If he
touchdowns.
plays, he's
and-
definitely a touchdown. He's a touchdown machine.
absolutely.
So if he quite plays with the question. Highlights we're going on to.
That's
Rushing running back.
Just highlighted to me that I don't
Absolutely.
think Peterson.
I don't think he was.
So
Yeah.
he was obviously missed by us potentially, but P. Ryan Kelly. You're throwing
Slim
darts, aren't you?
pickings, yeah.
I was going to say
Round 13. That's pretty.
that's
much
what it's for.
Oh, there's some good value here. Though Mahomes, a nice upside quarterback. As is
absolutely.
Mariota.
Yeah.
And even Jared Goff, to be fair. So
Yeah.
not a bad round for quarterbacks there, round 13. Not much else to speak of there though. So round 14, Robbie Gold to Cash for Gold. Pick everyone knows going to happen. Chris Godwin to Ixan, Giovanni Bernard to ADLZ, Jake Elliott to Bedednated, Will Watts to Gridiron Gang, Matt Bryant to Tom Sarrance, Mason Crosby to the Dream Team, Dan Bailey to Pakistan, Jack Doe to Bare Necessities, Harrison Butker to Forge Flies, Ben Roethlisberger to Southampton Owls, and Matt Prater to the Tugfarts. What do we like kicker-wise in round 14? No.
What's not to like kicker-wise? I can't believe you actually did give 4 kickers in a row.
Yeah,
That's
well,
excellent.
I was incorporating my draft strategy, which is usually to do the kickers either in round 14 or 15, and we were running out of time, so I thought let's just put the 4 highest kickers right there, and they're a good set, so don't see any problems.
I think for me, best pick of that round's got to be Jack Doyle in amongst it all.
Yeah.
He's got to be the
Still the starting tight end for Indy with
yeah,
Andrew Luck as
Ebron's
well.
there, but
Yeah, agreed.
We've just had a message in for Chris. Can say that Kelly won't be coming to Forge Fires this year. You heard it here first. So
Oh.
there you go.
Well, we'll give him Peterson instead.
Yeah, there you go, easy peasy. Chris Godwin, he's a good guy in the preseason that's been making quite a lot of rumbles in Tampa Bay, round 14. Do you think he'll go that late, really?
Well, he's quite low down the ADP still, and I had Ben as a potential someone who'd be watching that, looking for bargains, etc. But yeah, all reports are he's starting opposite Evans, and he's pushed Jackson into the slot. So good for
Adam
him.
Humphries is in the slot. It kind of leaves Jackson out in the woods a little bit. And finally, round 15, which apologies, only kind of a half. Geronimo Allison to the Tuck Fans. Jordan Wilkins.
Jonathan that sounds right. I think Jordan.
Jay Wilkins to Southampton Normals. Alex Smith to Forge Flyers. Chris Boswell to Bare Necessities. Derek Carter to Stan. Dak Prescott to the Dream Team. Austin Safarian Jenkins to Tom's Tyrants. Jameis Winston to Gridiron Gang. James White to Benedez. Kenneth Dixon to ADOZ. Didi Westbrook to Ixan. And Anthony Miller to Cash for Gold with the final pick of the draft. What do we make of round 15?
I like Anthony Safarian Jenkins here for
Austin.
Austin Safarian Jenkins here to Tom's Tyrants.
Yep. There's quite a few nice ones. Jameis Winston, there's a guy that can go in reserve.
Absolutely.
Can come in and be a decent quarterback. James White, any Patriots running back.
Potential bargain.
Maybe even Didi Westbrook.
Didi Westbrook, my man.
Certainly Anthony Miller. Alex Smith is a good quarterback to pick up in the round 15.
Absolutely.
Too. Certainly, at very least.
Exactly the kind of guy if you want as a backup.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to state that the ultimate dart throw has to be someone called Geronimo.
Absolutely. I would absolutely draft someone whose first name is Geronimo in the 15th round.
That's why I've given him to.
Absolutely.
So if you want Geronimo Allison, 14th round, guys, go get him.
So I've not done a very good job of screenshotting the teams here, but it appears you can't see it all anyway, even when you don't. So we'll look at what we can of the teams. So the Tuck Fans, I didn't do a better one on this one. No, I didn't. So I can't remember who had a quarterback. Do you remember?
It was Wentz and Ryan.
Wentz and Ryan. Ryan's there. Running back, I know Mark Ingram's there. I can't remember who your first running back was.
It was
Todd Gurley.
Yes. So and then you've got Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Jimmy Graham, T.Y. Hilton, Matt Brady, Seahawks D. On the bench, Matt Ryan, Duke Johnson, C.J. Anderson, Jamal Williams, Kevin Ridley, Jim Warnock, Geronimo Allison. What do you make of your team then?
I like it up until we get to wide receiver, and then it goes downhill.
I don't know why it's kicked Hilton for the.
Yeah, I think you've got to swap Hilton and Kupp around there.
Yeah, I'd be a little disappointed if I had drafted that on the second.
Right. So
that was damning.
Southampton Elms then, they have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
Le'Veon Bell.
Running back. Demaris and
Devonta Freeman.
Thank you. Demaris Thomas at wide receiver. Sammy Watkins wide receiver as well. Rob Gronkowski tight end. Ronald Jones the second, currently in the flex. Justin Tucker kicker. LA Rams defense. Ben Roethlisberger, Smarty P. Ryan, Doug Martin, Jordan Wilkins, Jay Wilkins, whatever you want, Jarvis Landry, who will probably come in the flex.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I can't remember that guy's name. Dalvin Moore?
DJ
Moore, thank you. As the last bench spot. What do we make of Ross's team?
I think these guys, so Jones, Landry, Watkins, and Thomas, they need to perform. They need a standout wide receiver one right there. For they've got the consistency in the running back and the quarterback, but they need something in that area to help them progress.
But I think in saying so, they may have 3 wide receiver 2s there in Thomas, Watkins, and Landry.
Yeah.
So
sure.
On average, not bad. And when you pair it with Bell and Freeman as running backs, and obviously Gronk and Rodgers, there's a lot to like about this team.
Absolutely.
So we can see there the average points 100 in a week compared to 95.3 for Phil. So they're in the lead so far. Foot Flyers 100 here, 100.6. So quarterback, I can't remember who I gave to Chris, unfortunately. He's got Derrick Henry there, and who's the other? Ezekiel Elliott. Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Benjamin at wide receivers, Carter for tight end, LaShawn McCoy at flex, so going with the 3 running backs. The bat again. Harrison Butker, kicker Vikings defense. Alex Smith, on the bench with Donta Foreman, Rob Kelly, Michael Crabtree, Kenny Stills, and Mike Williams. That's a pretty strong bench right there.
Yeah.
In
a lot
terms of
of
wide
upside.
receiver and quarterback. Anyway, let's see if we can just flip through and see who I gave
Who
as a
his
starting
quarterback was.
quarterback to Forge Flyers. I think it was a while ago. It's not there. Like it's the
Benjamin.
Crabtree. Can't see Rudolph. Nearly there.
Brady.
Tom Brady.
I can't believe you forgot Brady. Well, that's the shocker for this
That is
episode.
absolutely shocking.
so that's Chris's team. What do we make of Chris's team?
Strong, definitely strong. If he drafts this team, he's probably
Yeah, I
Probably
think he'd
among
be
the
happy.
favourites.
Apart from Rob Kelly, who he's very unhappy about.
That's Adrian
clearly.
Peterson.
Oh yes,
Adrian Peterson.
silly me. I'm always getting those two confused.
If we look at those people over a career span, though, that's like one of the best fantasy teams of all time. If you have all of those people in their prime,
Yeah, I think considering you've gone running back heavy to
Yeah.
get Fitz and Benjamin and have McCoy, and I know McCoy's a running back, but
Yeah.
have him in your slot. And then these guys here, any one of them could step up.
absolutely.
So, yeah, I think he's done well.
Yeah.
Lucky boy.
Ben Necessities. Quarterback. Anyone remember Ben Necessities quarterback?
No.
Let's go back through and do that fast. I think I took him reasonably early.
Russell Wilson.
It is Russell Wilson, isn't it? Yeah, that's correct. Thank you. And then they had Antonio Brown at wide receiver. That was the first overall pick. Running backs. I think that's Jordan Howard. Oh no, that's Royce Freeman. I think he has
Yeah.
Jordan Howard. No, I didn't draft him Jordan Howard.
I don't know. If I'm
Who
honest.
Who did you?
Oh, maybe I
Christian
did draft him Jordan. No,
McCaffrey?
maybe I
No.
did draft him Jordan Howard.
It would have been in about
I
that
think so.
zone. It was
Yeah, I
a
think I
second
did.
round pick.
I'd say it's Jordan Howard. Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, Travis Kelce, Jordy Nelson, Chris Boswell, and Saints starting lineup on the bench. Patrick Mahomes, Ty Montgomery, Peyton Barber, Aaron Jones, Julian Edelman, and Jack Doyle. What do we make of Ben Necessities?
I'm not sure what to make of bare necessities. There's in amongst the very good, there's some very not good. And
Absolutely.
having Josh Gordon and Royce Freeman in your starting lineup is very not good.
Three players that could be suspended this year if we count Josh Gordon, that probably
Yeah.
will get suspended at some point.
I
To
think
go with Aaron Jones and
yeah, it's not my favourite team.
And clearly the projected points are a lot lower.
Yeah,
than
no,
others.
90.4, yeah, not on one. Chris's messaging, he's happy with that in reference to his team. I imagine.
Excellent.
Not surprised. Pakistan now, so the one you drafted, Phil. So I could see McCaffrey's neck there. Who else did you draft? Quarterback and the other one.
Deshaun Watson was his quarterback.
And Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara was, yeah.
He's got Stephon Diggs and Allen Robinson at wide receiver, Aaron Ingram at tight end, Carlos Hyde in the flex, Dan Bailey at kicker and Patriots defense. Then on the bench, we've got Derek Carr, Nick Chubb, Garrett Blount, Randall Cobb, Sterling Shepard, and Martavis Bryant. What do we make?
I think he needs a few things to go his way. Stephon Diggs can definitely be a wide receiver one on his day, but he's not. I don't think he's the main guy in Minnesota at the moment. Allen Robinson is first year of his own deal, and obviously Deshaun Watson needs to prove that he can match performances of last season. If that happens, and he's got a good team right there.
Yeah, if Watson and Kamara can both prove that they haven't lost a step, that they can repeat, and McCaffrey takes a step, this is a very good team.
Definitely. I don't think there's a lot to speak of on the bench, would be the only thing I'd say.
Yeah, sorry, Pat.
About there's some options there, but
yeah, most of them are
speculative.
low upside options, I'd say.
92 points a week for Pat, so not the best there either. The dream team.
Just noticed he had Chubb and Hyde as well, some classic Phil picks.
Right. Inconsistent bench. Chris says, I think about Ben Necessities. The dream team then. Anyone remember whose dream team starting quarterback and running back was? Hopefully you do.
No, I don't.
We can plug back and look, it's okay. So the dream team, where are you?
I didn't do their QB until quite late.
He got David Johnston.
Okay, so we know David Johnson. I'm going to assume he took a QB before the defense. It's not there. I can't even see what
Jason
yeah.
Crowder.
It was Cam.
Cam
Newton.
Newton.
Cam Newton.
That was it.
He remembers as we get to the right.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we've got Cam Newton. What was the quarterback again?
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon and
David Johnson.
David Johnson, that's it. Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, Jordan Reed, Alshon Jeffrey, Mason Crosby and the Broncos from the starting lineup. On the bench, Dak Prescott, Marlon Mack, Corey Clement, Matt Brady, Jamison Crowder, and Charles D.
All injured.
2 defenses as well. Phil? Not everyone drafts like you.
No, absolutely. But I'm a three-time finalist, so and the former most winning team in the SEC. So I would like to defend myself with those stats.
Strong credentials. Did you realise you'd taken 2 defences?
No, exactly. A lot of mistakes are made. So I've just come back from my master's degree, and today is the first day I started thinking about American football.
Right. So you forgot that you don't need to take 2 defenses.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing you learn, or relearn, as the case may be.
God, well, apart from that oversight, what do we make of the dream team?
The first 3 picks, I kind of already highlighted this. If I was Viv and I got those first 3 picks, I would be a very happy man.
So to highlight again, that was Keenan Allen, David Johnson, and apologies.
And Joe Mixon. Got you.
You're welcome, Viv.
Pretty good.
If Alshon Jeffrey doesn't miss too much time, and
Same with Jordan Reed.
yeah, same thing, and they're both balling, then wow.
Okay. 95 points projected for them, so middle of the park. Then we have Tom's Tyrants. So I can see the one to Freeman there. Do you remember who you gave quarterback and other running back?
Saquon.
Yep, Saquon Barkley, quarterback. Do you remember?
I think it could have been Matt Stafford.
It was
Yes,
Matt
it was Matt
Stafford.
Stafford. Yep. And then we have Doug Baldwin, Marvin Jones, Zach Ertz, Golden Tate. Imagine Golden Tate's actually Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah.
Because Phil couldn't help but double dip. Like he's done.
Although I have also got Pierre Garçon, so we can't have Matthew. Oh, for God's sake, I've got Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett as well.
What is your problem?
I don't really think about who I have, and usually I write it down, but when this I didn't write it down, so...
You can look at the team! You were looking at the team! Oh my God. Anyway, Matt Bryan and Steelers, Isaiah Crowell, Devontae Booker, Devin Funchess, who would probably come in. Actually, maybe he wouldn't. Pierre Garçon, Tyler Lockett, and Austin Sperry and Jenkins. Apart from the obvious stupid receiver shenanigans.
On the upside, with having Marvin Jones and Golden Tate, at least I've got Matthew Stafford. So...
yeah, absolutely.
So, I just punt us for days. Excellent.
You are projecting 93.4 points, which seems very generous given what you've done.
I saw the worst team I drafted. There we go. So
well, the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl, so I'm going to win this. Basically,
this is why it's a mock. You know,
Yeah.
you can make all these picks.
There is a mock. You're predicting what will happen. That's
yeah. It's
not.
just
This is a mock as in a mockery.
no, absolutely, yeah. Mockery of the draft.
Should've
What's not
not-
going to
should've
happen in the draft? So.
Chris says, in fairness, the Lions are probably the one team that's going to double down, and we did say that actually, to be fair, but to do it, you would have to use a 5th and a 6th pick.
Thank you, Chris, for that vote of confidence.
And remember, Chris, I tripled down on the Lions.
Yeah, what, 3 Lions in 4 rounds, basically? 5 rounds?
Yeah, and a couple of Seahawks sprinkled in.
And I think another note is tip to all these fantasy viewers is to always write down who you picked so you don't make that mistake in the future.
You can't beat a pen and paper on draft day.
Absolutely.
Certainly not. Gridiron Gang now, so I know I had Jarek McKinnon there. Does anyone else remember who else I had a quarterback?
You had Leonard Fournette at running
I did
back.
have Leonard Fournette.
And Jimmy Garoppolo.
And Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. To go with Devontae Adams, Robbie Anderson, Delaney Walker, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen would come into there, presumably. Well, lots. Kicker Baltimore Ravens defense. Then on the bench, Jameis Winston, Rashad Penny, Latavius Murray, Marquise Goodwin, Nelson Aguilar, and Tyler Eifert. What do we make a Gridiron Gang? Project points 91.
I like this team. I think it's the best team I drafted.
Really?
I think they'll... Yeah.
The starting lineup's not too bad.
The starting lineup's
I
not
think
too bad.
this is slightly harsh.
It's lacking depth slightly, and I know it's a bit broken record, but Jimmy Garoppolo, Jarek McKinnon, Marquise Goodwin. You're betting on the Niners big time.
What's wrong with you?
So basically, we're set between me and Nate. It's basically Lions versus Niners. Who do you think's going to do better? And that person will also have a better team. Yeah.
Ben asked, have you done my team? We have, but we haven't covered it, so stay with us if you're watching.
Yeah, no, we left you out of the mock. We didn't think you'd turn up.
Yeah, Chris does 49ers for life. Yeah. Apparently that's all my phone has decided to download, which is a pretty
Bad
mad
times.
thought.
There we go, Ben. No, we didn't.
1 second, I will. The stream will pause momentarily while. Yeah.
Yeah, had I known that they were all in the same, had I known they were all in the same team, then I probably would have.
You're back live again.
We're back live.
Hey.
You muppet. Then is next. So a running back. Is that Kenyon Drake?
That's Kenyon Drake, and the other running back is Melvin Gordon.
Okay, and quarterback.
And the quarterback is Philip Rivers.
Okay. To go with Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, George Kittle, Chris Hogan, Jake Elliott, and the Jaguars. Then we have Mariota, Lewis, Dion Lewis, Chris Carson, James White, Josh Doctson, and Alan Hans on the bench. Projected points 95.1. What do we make of the Deadliners?
I mean, I drafted them. I waited on tight end and quarterback for their detonators, but not defense, obviously. And I think as a result, they've got a very good combination of wide receivers and running backs.
I think it's a really good team all around. The running backs, particularly, I'd like to highlight. So we've got Kenyon Drake. What was the start one again?
Melvin Gordon, who we had last year, I believe.
Dion Lewis, Chris Carson, and James White. I think that's a pretty good group.
Yeah, agreed.
To mix and match.
I wouldn't be unhappy.
Yeah, receivers, I think the starters, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Chris Hogan, really good. Depth-wise, Josh Doctson, Alan Hans, probably leave something to be desired, but you have to have a weakness somewhere. Anything else on?
I already mentioned, obviously, he was the first guy to take a D. I don't think he'd be unhappy with that. No, I hope he'd be fairly happy. Let us know. Apparently he's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, message in. ADLZ next, so anyone remembers who ADLZ has?
No, I didn't draft them.
I did draft them. You said that like you flawlessly remembered all the ones you did draft.
So I can see Alex Collins at second running back.
Who did I give him first? Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt, okay, and then at quarterback. I can jump back.
We may have to, yeah.
14.
Should we just assume it was Andy Dalton?
It was
not Andy.
There he is. Speak of the devil. No, not that round.
Oh, Drew Brees, okay.
Yeah.
So Drew
Yeah,
Brees.
fairly forgettable guy.
Drew Brees, Kareem Hunt, Alex Collins, AJ Green, Robert Woods, Greg Olsen, Juju Smith-Schuster, probably comes in the wide receivers spot there. Greg Zuerlein, Houston Texans D on the bench, Jared Goff, Sonny Michel, Giovanni Bernard, Kenneth Dixon, Emmanuel Sanders, and Kenny Golladay. What do you make of ADLZ? Projected points in 95.4.
I just quickly throw out there that probably Manny Sanders over Robert Woods, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's a bit of an odd one, I would say. But...
to be fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Projected points, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's interchangeable. I think you're right. Yeah.
It was probably I drafted it in thinking that, but yeah, fair enough.
I don't think there's much to say.
It's got some
team.
players in that he likes. Lots of his wide receivers from last year.
Yeah, he had Golladay as well.
Maybe some of the backups are a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, Michelle. First round running.
Yeah, he's probably a bit running back like.
Bernard.
He
It's
was
the
on
Cincinnati
Raiders most
connection.
of last season.
Yeah.
Kenneth Dixon as well, kind of speculative. So yeah, not a lot of running back depth there to speak of. Okay then, Ixan, aren't you so happy? Well, maybe not after I've just seen the projected points, 89.9. So a running back, I see you have a Washington running back there. Do you remember who?
Not a Washington guy. Oh, Marshawn Lynch being kicked out, that's why. I gave him... Oh, Lamar Miller and Marshawn Lynch was who I drafted at running
There was
back.
definitely a...
But that must be Chris Thompson, but who was on the
Chris
bench.
Thompson, okay.
But
So
no longer.
Chris Thompson, Marshawn Lynch, and what was the third one?
Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller. Who was at quarterback? Do you remember for Ixan?
No,
Let's go back.
is the honest answer.
It's alright. Okay, keep up with me, fine.
While they're finding that, can I just point out that they have both DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller in this. So
Oh, bugger.
it's fairly easy to
What's
do
wrong
in the
with
mock draft.
both of you? I didn't do it.
You've been looking up that the whole time, damn it.
Kirk Cousins is.
So they've been repping me, but it's very easy to do, folks.
If you're. Oh, shut up. So Kirk Cousins, Lamar Miller, Chris Thompson is there, but it would be Marshall Lynch. DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Trey Burton, Steven Gostkowski was the first kick off the board, equals D. Then we have Bilal Powell, Kerryon Johnson, Will Fuller, as Phil pointed out, Dede Westbrook, Chris Godwin, Michael Gallup. What do we make of Vixen?
Again,
I think that's a
drafted
bit of
them.
a harsh point.
I think it
it's
seems harsh. DeAndre
Hopkins.
Hopkins and Michael Thomas is super strong. I mean, I went them rounds 1 and 2,
Yeah.
so you'd expect that.
Yeah.
I think they've done all right at quarterback and tight end. Well, safe enough that I felt he would go all running back, wide receiver on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little light at running back, but again, I 0 RB'd him, so
Yeah.
that's what you'd expect. Marshall Lynch is probably. Well, I suppose he shouldn't be playing in the flex, actually. I was going to say he's probably good value in the
Yeah,
flex.
he'd be the RB2 and Thompson / another receiver probably.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, Will Fuller.
Yeah, Will Fuller was the.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think is this the last one? It is.
Last one.
Catch for gold then. So quarterback, do you remember?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Running back, I could see Jay Ajayi there. Do you remember the other running back?
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Odell Beckham Jr. and Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Rex Burkhead, Robbie Gould, Chicago Bears defense. On the bench, Naheem Hines, Tariq Cohen, Devontae Parker, Corey Davis, Cameron Meredith, and Anthony Miller. Projected points the lowest of the bunch, 87.5.
Oh, bad times.
Yeah, this is a tough one, really. They need a more consistent season from Cooper for it to be justified, and Njoku as well. Burkhead, their starters there. I can understand why that's been projected at 87.
Yeah, I mean it's very top end. You've got obviously Beckham, Cook, I think as well.
Beckham,
It's in
yeah.
there. What was the quarterback again?
Andrew
Andrew
Luck.
Luck,
So there's lots
that's
of
a decent
potential
one, but
there.
then I think Ajayi, big question mark, and Amari Cooper. As you said, he needs to prove it. And Njoku, while he looks like a good option, we don't really know until the regular season starts. Rex Burkhead, yeah, he was good for me last year, but if you're counting on him as a week in, week out flex, not so sure. And then on the bench, Corey Davis really is the only one there, and even then, he's a bit of a question. Is the one that could maybe come in every week.
Yeah, to be honest, I think having a choice between Burkhead, Davis in your flex is not a bad
it's not the end of the
position to
world,
be in. It's I mean, yeah. It's the back end pick, isn't it? You're theoretically the last person to pick your flex. So, but yeah, I don't think he'd be hugely unhappy.
No.
There's a lot of upside in the team.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
We're not.
And a lot of bears.
Yeah, a lot of pairs, which is probably accurate. So that is the mock draft. It's not going to be anywhere near accurate, as we've already realised, due to some people's.
And some people.
Yeah, mine wasn't as bad as yours. I took
Just trying to
Hopkins in
reflect.
1 and Fuller in 7.
So-
you took Tate and Jones back to back.
And stuff. So the message you've taken away from this is do loads of mock drafts, otherwise you'll do something like we've done.
Yeah.
That's the message to take away from this. So thank you for joining me.
Pleasure as always.
Yeah, I will definitely see you both at the draft. Are
Absolutely.
you around for a midweek podcast perhaps? We have one more to go before the start of the season.
Potentially.
Potentially.
We'll see, we'll see.
We'll get a midweek podcast out to you somehow, if not. I'll do it solo. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the mock draft show. Remember, 1 week to go until the big day and then the season is here. So thanks for joining us and we'll see you later. Goodbye.